Hi there, welcome to another lesson with me, Manil, here on Unacademy's YouTube channel for IELTS. My name is Manil Agarwal. I am a Plus educator on Unacademy Plus, on Unacademy's Plus platform. What is that? I'll come to that very shortly. I'll explain all of that to you. And this video, this live stream that I'm doing right now is to discuss what is a mock test, why is it important, how should you go about taking a mock test, when should you take a mock test, right? Everything on those lines. I have seen a lot of students completely botch it up when it comes to their mock tests, and they actually end up wasting a lot of good mock tests for practice in a way. All right, so we'll discuss all of that, but like I said just before that, I am a Plus educator on Unacademy Plus, right? What is Unacademy Plus? So I'm sure you already know of the app of Unacademy, right? The app helps you prepare for about 30 odd tests, and one amongst them being IELTS. And on the app itself, you'll find a lot of free classes that you can attend, as well as watch a lot of published videos which you can access for free. Now, these videos and these classes, they help you with a little bit of preparation for your test here and there, but as such, they do not cover every aspect that you need to know when it comes to preparing for the test. And it actually is not even possible for most educators to, in fact, it's not possible really for everyone to cover all that you need to know on the free platform, because the simple the thing is that there is no structured course available over there. But that is where Unacademy Plus comes into the picture. Unacademy Plus is a platform available within the app where educators such as I and few other educators, we offer structured courses to help you prepare for the test. So I offer two courses. One's the grammar course and the other is the IELTS course. Both of these are for 3 weeks, and both are conducted from Monday to Friday, 1 hour each. All right. And so about, let's say if you're somebody who's already good at English, a month of preparing with me and you're ready for the test. But let's say you are somebody who's weak or average or below average at English, you'll probably need 3 months. All right. And the fee for that is $6,600. And for 1 month is 2,700. But if you use my code Manil Live, you get a 10% discount, right? And that drops the amount to $6,000 and to $2,430, right? So I think nothing more affordable than these options when it comes to preparing for your test, right? So consider joining Unacademy Plus. Definitely download the app and start attending classes over there. Now, coming to the mock test, right? The topic that we are actually here for. So first thing first, let's understand when to give a mock test. All right. So there are 2 times when you should give a mock test. Probably 3 at best, okay? One is before you start preparing. Okay, you should give 1, maybe 2 mock tests before you start preparing for the IELTS test. The reason for that is it'll give you a very good idea on as to exactly where you stand for your test, right? And how much do you need to improve. A lot of students feel that they are bad at IELTS and they think that we'll probably score only band 5 or band 6, but when they give the mock, they end up realizing that, oh, I'm already at par with a band 7 score, so I just need to work a little more to ensure that I score my desired band score in all 4 sections, right? But then there are those who think, I'll score a band 8 aaj to, right? Leki aane maine band 8. When the result comes out, it's a band 4, okay? So that is why you should always take 1 mock test before you start preparing for your test in itself, right? The second one I recommend is, let's say, sometime now, okay, let's split this into 2 categories. Let's say if you're somebody who's weak, and let's say you're somebody who's above average. Now, for people who are good and excellent, we'll come to that later. All right, for you, somebody who's weak at English definitely needs to give more than 3 months to first improving their language and then probably appearing for the test. So I'd recommend maybe one test after 2 months of prep. Okay, maybe. I wouldn't even recommend this here. I wouldn't really, in all honesty, but there are a lot of students who are like, oh no, but I have to give a mock test every week, right? I have to give a mock test every month. वो दिमाग में उनके वही चलता रहता है. Okay, ठीक है, चलो, कोई बात नहीं. Same for you, for those above average. One test after, let's say, 2 months, because again, those who are average will also need at least 2 months to improve their English and then give themselves another month to prepare for the test. Okay, so fine, fair enough, maybe, you know, around here. But very important, I always recommend you should finally take your mock tests after you prepare for the test. Now, what happens is, with most students that I come across, they burn all the good mock tests right at the beginning, and then they turn to all sorts of rubbish material to practice for their test. Or maybe they don't burn the good mock tests, they just keep practicing from mock tests every day. So they'll be like, I'll do one listening today, I'll do one reading today, I'll do a writing task 1 and I'll do a writing task 2, and then maybe I'll catch hold of somebody and do a speaking test, and I'll give a mock, practically a mock on a daily basis. Some people split it across 2 days, all right? Some people split it across 3 days. The problem is that practicing mocks on a daily basis does not take you anywhere. Okay, it is not taking mock tests that will help you prepare for the test, right? This is really not a test. Look, the IELTS test is the easiest test you will appear for. All right, there is no real time challenge. Okay, most students are like, oh, reading ho nahi pata, writing ho nahi pata. But the reason for that is not because they have set up a test which otherwise deliberately pushes the time limit. The problem is that these students do not know English well. Okay, it's not that अरे मेरे को ideas नहीं आते. You have your ideas. हिंदी में सोचना पड़े, I'm sure you'll have your ideas. You'll instantly have the answers. But when it comes to writing your answer in English, you struggle. Why? Because you don't know the language. So instead of regularly giving mocks, focus on learning English. Improve your language. See, the moment you improve your language, automatically you'll score high on the IELTS test, because the IELTS test is not about, oh, iska aisa format, uska waisa format hai. They don't bring you anything new that you haven't already done in your life, right? Probably just that, you know, the question paper is a lot more researched and better thought through than as compared to what your teacher said at school. That's the only difference. Okay, so there is definitely no doubt that the IELTS test, the question paper in itself, will be easy for somebody who's good at English. So instead of appearing for a mock test on a daily basis, do one thing. Find yourself a good English teacher, right? Like I said, you can join me on Unacademy Plus. Join my grammar course. Study with me. Improve your English. Because I know there are a lot of people who go like, "Arey, tell me an easy way to improve my English." I mean, honestly, I feel like cracking an egg in your face, throwing an egg on your face, probably even putting your head in a bucket of water and, probably bringing you to consciousness ki this is not how life works. But hey, modern world can't do that, right? Of course, I won't even do so. Right? I'm just expressing my anger when I realize people want to do a million things but don't know how to do it, right? There is no easy way to improve your English. There is only one way to improve your English, and that is to learn it and then use it, right? Learn it and use it, learn it and use it, and keep using it on a daily basis so that you get into the habit, into the practice of using English. And trust me, once you're done improving your English, you will automatically score well. Now coming to the next thing. So this is about when to give a mock test. Next, where can you try this particular mock test before you start preparing? So there are some very good resources. Go to British Council. All right. I don't mean like you don't have to go to the British Council office. You can download their app. You can go to their website. Download IDP's app. Go to IDP's website. Try the tests over there. Go to IELTS. Just Google IELTS. IELTS own official website will show up. You can practice those mocks from there. So that is another good place to try your mock test. So this is where you should start in terms of your mock test. What should you do in terms of where to practice from once you get here, and where to practice from once you get here? Well, most of us already know this, right? You can what I'd recommend is get the official guide to IELTS by Cambridge. All right, that is a great place to. It has eight academic and 2 general training tests, so that is a great place to go practice for your IELTS test. Use that same book. Don't end up burning all, again, do not end up burning all 8 tests over here, right? Try 1, no more than that, maybe 2, okay? And then you can do the rest of your mock tests here, all right? 4 to 6, usually 4 tests is what I recommend. I don't recommend any more than those. Again, if you're not doing well on the first one, that means you still not improved your English. So don't waste your time trying to कि अरे मैं mock test और 3 कर दूंगा तो मेरे नंबर आ जाएंगे, मैं 3 और mock test ले लूंगी तो मेरे नंबर और आ जाएंगे. ऐसा नहीं होगा. It won't happen. You still have issues with your language. So go back, fix your language. Okay. See, the mock test serves two purposes. One, it shows you where you are, where you stand. Okay. And 2, it helps you get in shape for the test. What do I mean by that? See, most of the people who are, I'm talking from an IELTS perspective. I'm not talking from a perspective of, say, a GMAT or a TAT or a NET or UPSC. I'm not talking from that perspective. See, what happens is for most of us test takers of IELTS, especially general training test takers, we are out of practice when it comes to appearing for a test, right? It's been a while that we have sat in a test environment. It's been a while that we've actually picked up a pen and written something with our hands. You know, most of the times you're now on the laptop. So a lot of people in any case now have decided, they are now choosing to go for the computer delivered test, right? But that being said, even then, the ability to sit for 3 hours straight is a bit of an issue, right? We are not able to really do so because we are out of habit. We are out of practice. So these mock tests should be used to assess where you stand and only to get into shape to last those 3 hours in a manner that at the end of the 3 hours, you're left with energy and that you can attempt everything on the test without getting tired, and you're back in shape that within the hour you're able to finish everything. All right, don't use mock tests to improve. Mock tests can't help you to improve your scores. All right, yes, if you truly are in that position wherein you go like, I am a slow reader, even then don't waste your mock tests. Refer to books, right? Pick up let's say pick up a textbook from school, okay, which is, let's say, a science book, or let's say you pick up a textbook from college which is around commerce, or you pick up articles from newspapers. Read those, give yourself that opportunity to read those articles. See if you can read those in a certain time, within a certain timeline. Try and understand what's being said there. Engage in those kind of exercises that way. And see, the biggest problem is if you end up burning these mock tests, you then go to books which are not from Cambridge or which are not reliable sources. I have had a few students who've come back to me and they've been like, oh, I've been practicing from this book. And I'm like, and they're absolutely nervous, okay, absolutely tense. They're like, what's happening? Why am I performing so bad on the IELTS test? My English is good, right? It's not that I'm weak at English. I'm a through and through English school educated individual and CBSE, and I scored always in excess of 80 on my English test. Why am I facing so many issues? And then I would look at those books, I'd look at the questions, and I'd look at the material, and I'd be like, oh, but look, this material is not correct in itself. One, this is not relevant. 2, the questions that have been established can have 2 answers from the same text. So it's not possible, right? The text in itself is wrong. The question in itself is wrong. But what happens is these people have already burnt all these mock tests that I have suggested, and they're just going through. So rather than, and after that, if I direct them towards some new reliable material, once they come back, I'm like, what's your score now? Oh, I scored band 8 on listening. I scored band 8 on reading. And I check the writing work and I'm like, oh, that's a definite band 7, 7.5, speaking band 8 again. And these same people, when they were trying from these other books, were scoring band 5, band 5.5, band 6. So be very careful where you pick up your mock tests from. When do you practice them? How do you practice them? I've also seen a lot of people, they'll pick up a listening test, right? And what they'll do is they'll keep practicing the same test until they get everything correct on the test. Serves no purpose, right? I mean, if you listen to the same thing 20 times and you know the answers, eventually you'll of course get it 100% correct, right? But it's not as if on the day of the test you'll get the exact same test, right? It's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. And you can't memorize anything for the IELTS test. So whenever you do appear for the mock test, appear for it diligently. So here's what I recommend. Let's say you're going for the paper-delivered test, paper-based test. So the paper-based test starts at 1 o'clock, from 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock. Now, a lot of people have this problem. They sleep in the afternoon. And so to sit from 1 to 4 can be an absolute pain for them. So what you do is you practice your mocks from 1 to 4 so that you can get in shape that in that time you're not falling off to sleep. Okay, that is one. Another thing, make sure that you're appearing for these mock tests just ahead of your test, right? Let's say your test is on Saturday. So you start appearing for your mocks from Monday, right? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So you take 5 mocks on those 5 days. Now I know a lot of you are working individuals, right? But for a lot of you, it could be the change in life. So maybe you want to take a week off. Take a week off, right? Take that week off, appear for the mocks in that 1 week. Now, if you're somebody who's appearing for the computer delivered test, right? You have the option to choose your slot. So choose the most convenient slot and practice for your mock test at the same time. So hi Ramandeep. Ramandeep, if you want an answer to that question, the best answer is, look, I'm not going to give that answer to I'm not going to answer that question here. I'm not going to share the strategy here because that is something that we do on the Unacademy Plus course, right? But hey, I have a clear strategy. You understand it once, you practically will never get a true false not given question wrong. Okay, so why don't you join me on Unacademy Plus? I've already shared the details how to do so. So here's everything. I said I have 2 courses. I have a grammar course and I have an IELTS course. 3 weeks I'll have you ready for the test. If you're already good at English, just go for the month-long subscription. Costs you 2,430 rupees if you use this code, which is Manil Live, right? Yeah, correct, Pachu. So if you're appearing for the computer delivered test, give yourself 3 hours. It's always 3 hours. It's never more than 3 hours. So yes, so that's what I had to share when it comes to mock tests. Guys, don't burn your mock test. Don't try to improve your IELTS score by appearing for mock tests. That's not how you do it. Improve your English. Improve your English. Okay. I keep saying this day in and day out. Every class, every session. Improve your English. 95 out of 100 will still not listen to me and will appear for the test twice or thrice, will burn a lot of money, waste a lot of time, get irritated, frustrated, and will probably even curse the educator for not telling them what to do. But hey, it's not the educator at fault. You are not improving your English. And then you're just trying to fix your score through mock tests. That's not going to work. That is not going to work, okay? I don't twist my words. I put it straight out there. If your English is weak, forget it. You'll never score a band 6. Forget 6.5. Alright? But hey, if your English is good, automatically that band score gives you a very true picture of exactly where you stand. Band 6 means you're average. Band 6.5 means you're above average. Band 7 means you're good. Alright? Band 8 means you're very good. Band 9 means you're excellent. Alright? So that is exactly what that band score means. Right? So this is what it is. Guys, I hope you will download the app. Start watching the free content on the app itself, and then from there I do hope to see you in one of my free classes, and from there hopefully I'll see you on Unacademy Plus itself. So guys, keep practicing. All right, very important for IELTS. Keep practicing English, not mocks. Keep practicing English, and also remember, keep it simple and stick to the basics. Goodbye.